We're trying something totally new. We've never done an outdoor concert, but we thought that this was the time to try that because this concert is called Nature the Musical. So every song is about some topic about the flora, fauna, geology of the Pacific Northwest. So you will be learning things as we go. This is all original music, written by Anastasia Workman, right here on the piano. And Jed Dunkerley wrote the lyrics, and you'll be meeting him in just a minute. So our first... That's Jed Dunkerley. Jed wrote all of the words. So the first song of our concert is called Tick Tock, the Tectonic Clock. And I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what we're describing in case all the words don't come through. So you're going to imagine that this opening right here is, it's almost like you're looking at a cross-section of the ocean, the Pacific Ocean, and over there on the east side, so this is the west, and that's the east, is the edge of our continent. And the idea being that as millions and millions of years went by, the tectonic plates, the action of the tectonic plates is moving this way, right, from west to east. And they are colliding and scraping against each other, and one plate is getting subducted, right? And one is being accreted and kind of bunching up and creating mountains, and they're all piling up. And this happened over and over throughout time, and that meant that our coast kept extending. Right, so the west coast of our continent used to be back by Spokane, and then eventually a bunch of land got piled up, and then eventually it was closer to Wenatchee, and then it piled up some more and near Seattle, and then kept piling up into the coast where we know it is today. But of course, the story is not over. Who knows what is ahead for our planet? So this is the story of the tectonic action of the Pacific Northwest.
Land is ever changing, and what we see today once was something different and isn't built to stay. Washington's just a moment in our Earth's history. Tick tock, the tectonic clock reveals the mystery.
Whoa. I think my hair has been subducted and accreted. Well, hello everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. Before we launch into or continue our journey into the nature, I wanted to take a little detour into a little bit of the ecosystem of appreciation and just say, I'm really glad to see you guys. When we first did this was online, and this was all presented with a collection of pixels. So here we are. The seating at home may have been a little bit more comfortable, but it's really great to see you guys. And I just want to say thank you to Sari for directing this and arranging this. Also, Anastasia Workman for the melodies that you hear, and Jed Dunkerley for all the lyrics, and just all the shenanigans. And it's just been so much fun, and it got us through it all. And another thing that got us through everything was nature. So let's talk a little bit about that. How many of you guys, during any hikes you've wandered around down a trail, wishing you knew just how to identify the amazing evergreen trees inhabiting our forests? Anybody? Okay, great. Well, we got something for you. Listen carefully, because this next song is going to teach you how to identify the big three, or the three most common evergreens found in the Pacific Northwest: the Douglas fir, the western hemlock, the western red cedar. Yes, okay. Okay, let's talk about the Douglas fir first. Okay, evergreen one, Douglas fir. Unusually fire resistant due to its thick bark, and it's one of the world's best timber producing species. The Douglas fir yields more timber than any other species in North America, making our forest lands the most productive on the continent. Now, evergreen two, the western hemlock, is a highly shade-tolerant tree, and young trees can exist for decades under the canopy, just waiting, very patiently of course, for a gap before shooting up to claim a space. Now, if you're ever in a pinch, this is an interesting tidbit here, you can actually scrape the inside of the bark of the western hemlock and eat the shavings. And finally, evergreen three, we have the western red cedar, which lives over 1,000 years and has great cultural significance for the indigenous people of the Northwest, who use the wood to build canoes, totem poles, tools, and use it for other purposes. The bark is harvested by indigenous peoples and processed into a fiber, which is used to make items such as rope, baskets, clothing, and rain hats. And the heartwood of the cedar contains a chemical that serves as a natural fungicide, which prevents the wood from rotting, the most valuable trait. So let's hear more about those trees.
give a show, it's a useful tree. Bark won't leak and the wood don't rot. How do you tell it's a tree you've got?
These are good and bird-like big, waxy flat and soft to the hand. Tiny cones about the size of a bee, grow in groups at the tips of the tree.
Fibrous bark have bright and hue. Is like string cheese, long tall shreds.
Spread out, go throw down, big fat lay flat just underground. In Washington State, it's never not green. 3 other trees that can be seen. Sing this song and pass it around. Guess we tell which tree you found.
Brendan, you want to talk to us about ecosystem?
We are going to do a medley next. It's very impressive. It's called the Eco Medley, and it's a tour from west to east of our state's incredible ecological diversity. Washington has a tremendous diversity of ecosystems, including prairies, wetlands, estuaries, rainforests, shrub steppe, marine waters, and grasslands. And in addition, our state is home to 2 ecosystem types found nowhere else on the planet: the Olympic rainforest and the scablands of the Columbia Plateau. So we invite you in this piece particularly to take note of Anastasia Workman's brilliant composing. Each of the sections visits a different musical genre for each ecosystem. Enjoy.
And Jed on the lyrics.
Washington's a motley land. It's low, it's high, it's wet, it's dry. Its wildlife is diversified. From forest rain to coulees grand. This song is a medley piece. From east to west, from here to there. It takes you just about everywhere. And as your ears delight, your knowledge will increase. Oh yeah, Thirsty Coast Marine.
The water's blue and the kelp is green.
Starfish wing and salmon school.
Otters play and the orcas cool.
Tides are high and seals go board.
Tides are low and the crowds are above.
Octopus is singing round.
Eagles eat all the fish they found.
Olympic rocks.
Willapa Bay and the oyster dogs.
Straight up on the Huguenots. Sea Marine has much
Sea Marine has much to boast.
midst of the rain, grow your mossy trees. Let the air winds from the cloud bathe your mossy breeze. Cedar hefty, hemlock huge, drip your drippy air. Sluggy slime, one refuge, every drippy way. Gets too cold, never gets too cold. Trees grow very thick, trees grow very old. Temperate kind of vibe, temperate kind of way. Rain all through the night, rain all through the day.
Heron in a patient hunch. Wait for a wetland lunch. Beaver in an alder den. Whoa. Do it again. Dragon on a cattail fly. Blazing under cloudy sky. Willow on the swampy ground.
Of the Puget Sound.
Lichen on a rock 'neath the white pork pine. Pika sees a hawk, and Pika makes a wine. Bear upon a screed, a berry blue. Living in the alpine, yodelodelo-ee-oh.
So this next song features Luke, who is going to be telling us the story of the Lake Missoula. How many of you know about Lake Missoula? Okay, wow, great. So Lake Missoula. So Lake Missoula, back in the Ice Ages, was a finger of ice coming down from Canada, and this was in northern Idaho. The ice would come down, and it would come down into Idaho, and eventually it would block up the Clark Fork River. And the ice dam would then have all of the water back up all the way towards Missoula into Montana. So western Montana was underwater, a lake the size of Lake Michigan. And then the pressure on the ice dam would be such that eventually it would break open. And this happened somewhere around 40 times, it's estimated, that the water would break through the ice dam, and then there would be a massive cataclysmic flood all across eastern Washington, which is what carved out our eastern Washington landscape. You can see the dry falls and the Grand Coulee. All of that was from the force of this incredible amount of water over and over, just rushing. It took just like a day for all of this water to take all of the topsoil and just rush it right out to the Pacific Ocean. So that's what this next song's about.
While east the Cascades is a strange country found. It's a cache of geology's puzzles, with cliffs and deep canyons as dry as a bone. It's like a cup from which all had been guzzled. Nobody knew what had silenced the falls, or just how the big channels eroded. From up to Spokane, to Wenatchee on down, to Tri-Cities, its mystery puzzled.
Then along came a man named J. Harlan Grant, with a hunch that would heresy trigger. He argued that a flood could have made it all go, but a flood on a scale much bigger. He reckoned the ice from the old sea no ice might have stopped the Concord flow. The lake that roared behind of a sizable kind would release when the frozen dam would blow. Oh, Lake Missoula, some got carried away. It drained across the lake in better days. It picked up all that land with a big old warrior and disappeared as quickly as it came.
Imagine a time when a river of ice made a dam on a regular river. And when it was warm, the dam would give away, and the lake behind it would be delivered. The torrent would roll several hundred feet high, and it devoured, denuded, and slaughtered. And native folk tell of an old ancient myth of rebirth at the edge of such waters.
Imagine a day 20,000 years gone. The sun blazes down the Grand Coulee, with only the sound of the flies buzzing down, and the sun beaming down Coulee. exactly the same, and its own great Missoula to blame.
The giant Pacific octopus. The giant Pacific octopus only lives up to, at most, 5 years. And despite being one of the most intelligent creatures in the ocean, they have to rely on inherited instincts to survive, since their mother dies just as they hatch, after spending her final months keeping the eggs safe and clean in her nest, gently bathing and rocking them with her siphon and tentacles. This song imagines a scene where a mama octopus might sing to her eggs before she dies, passing down some parental advice to her unborn babies in a lovely underwater lullaby. Octopus Lullaby.
Sway in cool waters, my sweet octopi. You'll never know your mama or your octopi. Though there's hundred thousands of you, and you have no ears. Remember what I sing to you, my dears.
Eat crabs and clams to grow up big and strong.
Don't waste your time because you don't have very long.
You'll use your suckers to capture your prey.
And a big crowd of ink when it's time to get away. Life is hard living for young cephalopods. You'll never be as fast as mackerels or cod. If you can't ride in wolves, then you're not living. You'll learn to change the color of your outer skin. Sway in cool waters, my sweet octopi. You'll never know your mother or your octopi. Though there's hundred thousands of you, and you have no ears. Remember what I sing to you, my dears.
Your tentacles reach about 20 feet.
Sometimes you might catch an
Grover Sanders Krantz was a Northwest anthropologist and cryptozoologist who was one of very few scientists to seriously study the Pacific Northwest's most famous creature, Bigfoot. Krantz sincerely believed in the presence of Sasquatch in our forests and devoted much of his career to proving their existence, costing him research grants and promotions and delaying his tenure. He theorized that the Pacific Northwest Bigfoot sightings were due to small pockets of surviving Gigantopithecines, an extinct genus of giant ape that lived in southern China over 1 million years ago. According to Krantz, this progenitor population migrated across the Bering Land Bridge, later followed by humans, to eventually become our most elusive yet beloved forest friend, Gigantopithecus.
You know it says Bigfoot, but I never liked that name. It's not very nice to interspecies body shame. My foot size is perfect for tramping dogs and forest floors. Your foot size is right, ideal for life inside a door. The name's Gigantopithecus, you've been here for a while. We come from the same stock as you, we just have different styles. And if you think we're dangerous, please understand you're wrong. We clear up our reputation in a song. Bigfoot's only Bigfoot to us faultless. Don't misunderstand our mystery. If we see the differences without the learning why, then differences are all we'll ever see. Please know we don't hate you, we just like to be alone. We're young, let's evolve because we call the woods our home. Our big fairy coats mean we don't have to choose to stay apart. We're few and far between, and therefore do less harm. The woods are rich and bountiful if you know where it's found. It's easy to listen when you never make a sound. And yes, we've been avoiding you, 'cause we have all we need. Our foot in the woods is the food just what you need. Bigfoot's only Bigfoot to a small foot. Don't misunderstand our mystery. If we see the differences without the learning why, then differences are all we'll ever see. So please don't call us Bigfoot, don't stand us and keep away. Try Gigantopithecus, it's much more fun to stay. Stay in our dark forest at the corners of your map, and every now and then we'll overlap. Every now and then we'll overlap. Gigantopithecus!
Oh, shoot.
That's really bad.
sadly, we only have one more song. But we will be getting going again in the fall, and we are really just about the most welcoming, lowest bar choir you will find, which sounds like I'm saying something not nice, but it just means that we are a home for shy singers. We are a home for folks who have not necessarily any experience, and in the fall we're going to be changing things up. The choir doesn't know this, actually. I'm kind of excited about changing our format just for our fall session. We are going to move away from doing a big presentation like this, and we're going to do something that's like a pickup sing-along each week on Monday nights that will be just about that time together. So it'll be like a sing-along time and not trying to memorize words and make a concert at the end. So it will be like a weekly space to just come and be together and sing. So yes, these folks back here who have been working very hard to memorize all these science words. So we're just going to try a completely different thing than our usual, if you are a longtime choir fan. And everybody is welcome. We meet at St. Therese Parish in Madrona on Monday nights from 7 to 8. And we'll be getting started shortly after Labor Day. And we'd love to have all of you there. So this next song, and afterwards there's a very amazing cake with an octopus on it there, and we hope you'll stick around and have some food with us and enjoy the park. And I'm going to say one more huge thank you and just a round of applause for the writers of this music. So,
thanks again to Sari for putting it all together, because without us, it would just be like a scientific poetry reading.
Yeah, the three of us go way, way back, and this came together with sort of help from a lot of people when we were trying to keep the community going during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen it, we encourage you to go to YouTube and just put Nature the Musical, and you'll see our online version of this in case you want to hear these songs again. Okay, so this last one is about volcanoes, our most dramatic feature of our Northwest nature. And we are rich in volcanoes. There's a spine of volcanoes that just go all the way from Canada on down to California in the Cascades. And some of them, as you know, have already blown recently, and some are just waiting for their moment. So here we go. This one features Jed Bigfoot Dunkerley on the lead.
Sometimes a blade gets pushed around enough, so ducked it out of the continental fringe rather than melt submissively away. It gets a bit of tectonic rhythm. Yes, it will melt if the action has its way. Magma once will, magma be again. Where from the depths it rounds its victor's wounds and rises through the cracks it helped to rest. So it is in Washington, some distance from the zone. And I wonder if you could take its call back to its home. Find the tallest mountain, and the difference is clear. they just erupt out of the blue. Makes you shriek, full of fear, coming out of St. Helens, Johnny Allen. And when the mountain blows, you get pyroclastic flows. Superheated cloud of gas raining, rocking ash below. And snow, you get a big mud flow. We like to call that a love. If the rock is right, the lava is a sign that you only want to see. To see from above.
Thank you all so much for coming and stick around, and we really, really appreciate your support. So thanks for being out here. Happy summer!